The next thing you create will change your life. Now, you're probably asking or saying, really? Yes, really. Spirit told me, and I'm prophesying and channeling this message for you because you need to know.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! Oh, in the name of God! Now I know what it feels like to be God! Oh.
The next thing you create is going to change your life. Are you ready? I bet you're wondering what it takes, right? Devotion. You can have all the strategy in the world. You could have the ideas. You could have the concept. You could have the money. You do not have the devotion to what it is that you're creating. It's not going to get done. All that stems from, can you take a guess? I'm going to give you a second. You abandoning yourself. You abandoning that creative idea that you had when you were a child or your vision. Somebody told you it wasn't important enough. And I'm smiling because as a child, I'll give you a little backstory on this. I used to experiment a lot. Now, you'll notice in this series, I'm going to talk about experimentation and why it's very, very important in this process. Creativity also isn't just like paintings and design. It is a person who's a mathematician. It's a person who's an electrician. So you kind of have to rewire your brain around what you perceive or your soul or being told and sold is art, right? So anyway, when I was a child, I was a performing artist. What does that mean? I had a big personality. And when I mean big, I mean big. Sorry, I talk with my hands, as you can see. I was in a lot of singing competitions. I was in for like native dance, African dance competitions. What else did I do? I was a big theater kid, especially in high school. I was in the play Othello, Princess and the Pea, to name a few. I think Lady and the Beast, girl, Beauty and the Beast. And so I had a really big personality. What happened? Mm, I was called weird. I was pushed out as an outcast when I started to do things that aligned with God's mission and I, whatever you believe in, you believe in. Okay? God's mission for me, my spirits, and people miss this. Creativity is a spirit, it is a part of you. It's going to keep following you, haunting you wherever you go. Okay? So you can keep ignoring it. But the reason why you're feeling stressed out, depressed, or like you have creative blockages is because you're not nurturing it, right? You pushed her off into the shadows, him or whatever your pronouns are. You pushed that part of you, that major part of your soul's purpose, into the shadows. So it has to come out, right? How do we, and you can also, I know somebody's going to say it, oh, I don't have the money. I can't. We speak like that over our lives. I thought you were the creator of your world, right? Okay. Ask for what you need, right? So anyway, we'll get to that in the next episode of this. When we push ourselves so far into the shadows, we become adults on autopilot. You lose a part of you, or you may push a friend to do it who's like super, creative, and she's doing her thing on social media, or this friend's doing their thing at their job or whatever. You push all you cheer people on. Woo! I'm shaking the camera. You push all these people along, but you do not push yourself. because you're afraid. And where does that fear stem from? Again, abandonment. Someone told you you weren't good enough. Someone told you that was silly. Someone told you some bullshit. Excuse my language. So, what we have to do here is we have to get past those abandonment wounds. We have to get past that fear, right? And we have to uncover our truest creative spirit. Yeah, we're going to do that. So, how do we begin? Right? We decolonize and denounce any negative thoughts, anything society has told us that how to live, how to dress, what to do. I mean, from birth, you're conditioned on who and what to be, but spirit already has a plan for you, right? And you know it, and you feel that deep, 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 deep down in your core. You feel it, but you keep saying, no, no, maybe next year, maybe in a couple months. Babe, the time is now. Because again, the next thing you create is going to change your life. It may not be the thing that you want to do that's like the ultimate goal, but I guarantee you it's going to get you closer to said goal. Trust me, right? But there's a return happening when ish goes down economically and with our system, art rises. And that's for a reason, right? It's very ancestral in nature. It's instead of having what we call artificial intelligence, we are now researching ancestral intelligence. And a big part of that intelligence was art. That's how we created with one another. That's how we created with tribes. That's how we connected with spirits, right? Right? Because what you're creating, all of it has a spirit. All of it communicates with something, right? It's all about communication. It's all about rising above the shadows and integrating with your shadows, right? Okay. You've created a monster, right? That's begging and raging to come out of you. And when I mean monster, I mean the real you, right? What you've been suppressing from society. Stop doing that, okay? Stop doing it. It's not serving anybody. If anything, it is taking away from you. Now, everything in divine timing, I understand that. But this, you know it's time. The time is now. One thing I truly notice also is in this what society does is it conditions us to compare ourselves. You will see somebody online, you're like, "Oh my god, I just don't like her." Right? And she's thriving. You may perceive her as this or that, but she's thriving. She's walking in her walk, right? And what is actually happening is she's a mirror, right? She's trying to tell you, hey, if I can do it, you can too. When we dig a little bit deeper, and we're in this age of, social media, we see all these great things happening to people all the time. And yes, it can be you. It may not be exactly like that person because everybody's destiny is different. And that is for a divine purpose. Once you admit those feelings of, I've been in myself here, I'm fearful here, I'm jealous here, and realize it's all a mirror for you. Those are like stepping stones for you to walk on and look. Actually, first let's draw back for you to examine and get to the root of, right? Because everything has a root cause. And for me, in my situation, I was told I wasn't pretty enough. I was told that I'm too weird, and so I was outcasted a lot. But I did not let that stop me. Not until some other things happened. And just recently, by doing guided hypnosis and visualization, I was able to break through and really get to what happened to me. Why did I stop? What made me afraid to get in front of a camera and speak? What made me be afraid to connect and talk to people. And as a person, I'm also a medium, shout out to my bloodline, and a priestess, and a real one. Okay. And so when you come to this self actualization of self, pause. Before you even get to self actualization, for what happened to me was I had to figure out what was I doing in life. I felt I was accomplishing all these great things, yet I was still unfulfilled. Because as a child, I stayed up till, oh God, like 6 a.m. 2003. I told you my age. Watching MTV music videos and films and fashion things, because we didn't really have what we have now as far as media, right? Accessibility, oh Lord, in regards to seeing things, viewing things, all of that, right? So I would stay up and I would imagine me directing music videos, and one of my favorite shows was Tales of the Crypt. And I just like really spooky, mysterious things. It really speaks to my Scorpio moon. And I realized I was doing, okay, because I don't know if y'all know, I've designed for a lot of brands as a ghost designer, fashion design. So I'm thinking, I'm trying in my 20s, I'm trying to really pursue that. But, I sell on ASOS, I get, a partnership with ASOS, blah, 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 blah. But I'm still unfulfilled. I'm like, what the, you know? It's because my inner child is like, girl, we want to tell stories. We want to shoot things. We also want to not shoot as in violence, no YouTube. Shoot film, cinema, films, short films, fashion films, beauty, anything that told a story visually, right? That's where my bread and butter is. And that's one part of my journey, right? That is not my ultimate destiny, but that's a big part of it, right? And we all have to, let's go back into the stepping stones. We have to get to that root. So a lot of my fears and traumas and self-abandonment came from being raised in a very toxic um, environment. I wasn't praised for the things that I did that I had great interest in. I was only told to just be a great student and get straight A's and all that, which I did, but I also was a little autistic, and I had dyslexia, but nobody knew. I just suppressed and I masked, right? So eventually that mask fell off because I'm like, I can no longer keep up this dead version of me. So I held a funeral for myself in a ritualistic type of way. And this is important because this helps you create that next thing, right? You need to let go and cut ties with anything weighing you down. I mean, anything. And you know what it is. You know exactly what it is. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to challenge you to write down everything you want to get rid of, everything you're afraid of, everything that's holding you back, even within, from external to internal. Because the first thing that society and patriarchy does is colonize your mind. Your mind is so powerful. You can create the life that you truly desire, not just what you see on social media, not what you grew up seeing on TV as a kid, not what your great granny, or unless she was a prophetess. Okay, different story. Not what Joe down the street said, not what your daddy wants. What is burning in your heart? That is the call. And I need you to answer it. Pick it up and get to work, right? So write all that down. Get you a little tin bowl, copper bowl, whatever you got. Okay. Release them, cut ties to them. And once you're done doing that, I need you to affirm and really figure out who you are. Why? Ask yourself, why have I been hiding in the shadows? What am I hiding from? Now, everybody's destiny is not the same. Like I said, you might be wanting to be an electrician, but you over here doing, I don't know, dental work. You might want to be a veterinarian, but you over here working at, I don't know, you might want to own a co-op, but you over here working at the nonprofit. Just, well, one day. No, not one day. The day is today. Start. Okay. Now, but let's go back real quick. If you're constantly critiquing, and I do think it's important to critique the media that you consume because again, everything shapes our mind, right? But if you're constantly critiquing something, it's because you admire something about that person. That's a part of a block, a creative block that can get in your way. Is that constant comparison mode, which the camera's shaking. I'm sorry. It just removes us further and further away from ourselves, or it can bring you closer to see where you're abandoning yourself, where you're not showing up for yourself. You keep putting something off, right? Yeah. What I want you to do is, after you've done that burn, right? Give yourself a minute to really figure out what it is that you are called towards. What are you being called to create? Because I guarantee you it's going to be magical. I'm not talking about in terms of, oh, I want to go viral, which we do want to happen. We do want the attraction, we want the visibility and things like that. But what if it is calling you towards something that's just been, you don't know what could happen? What if you're writing a film and you submit it and you get, you get airtime, you get a partnership with Netflix, you get this, you get that. You never know. Give yourself a chance. Take a chance on yourself. You've been everybody's cheerleader. You've taken so many chances for other people and helped so many people. Help yourself. Okay. Another thing that will help you in this process of you about to change your life, right? Because that is calling you. I know you feel it. Create yourself an artistic altar. Your space should inspire you. What rituals do you have in play or set up for yourself? For me, I love incense. I love candles. I love dressing. What we put on our bodies, fashion, right? Fashion is very, very big to me and very important. So is interior design. My space has to be beautiful, and you don't have to go spend thousands and thousands of dollars. You're creative. You know how to make stuff look good. Not just look good, feel good, because everything is about feeling. But I like incense. I like candles. I like to adore myself, right? I love it because I consecrate and protect things that I put on my body. Everything has a purpose, right? I need you to do the same thing for yourself, whatever you do. But whatever you put on your body should make you feel, should just push you more towards who you are and less of a costume. This is not, you're not taking up a subculture and trying it on. And this is a part of you. This is your story. Don't pick up anybody else's pieces to their story trying to put things together. That's not how that's going to work. God, spirit needs you to show up as you in this season. Because again, the next thing you create will in fact can shift your life. It's all up to you. Another thing, do you think that any artist who has made it or actually followed through with their dreams, do you think they went around telling everybody their plans? They may have, there may have been instances where they did, right? And things may went a little bit wonky, but you see most artists when they're really creating something, they go a little silent for a minute, maybe like a day or two, a couple of weeks, however, not like completely radio silence, but they focus, they take action because Once you really look at yourself and get through those heavy things, because they can be heavy for us, right? For me, it was very heavy. I had a big fear around being seen. And I was always comfortable in the spotlight as a child. Like, I had no issue, and I had no issue sharing spotlights. I invited people into the spotlight with me as a child. And he was like, get the hell out. So you really have to take this season serious. You have to. You are a star. And I don't mean that in like, oh, celebrity way. I mean in your own universe, in your, and not to like, this is affirming, okay? You're a star. And whatever you're doing, you're a star. You need to believe that. You need to tell yourself that. You need to know it. You need to feel it. And the only way to feel it is to get into the root of what's blocking you. Because once you feel it, those feelings power you up. And once you start visualizing what I'm doing paired with action, oh yeah. And devotion comes with feeling. Okay, when you're devoted to something, it feels good to do it every day. You make time for it, you nurture it, you caress it, you experiment with it a little bit. You're like, oh, maybe not this here. I have to. Devotion is key. Devotion and dedication. You have to be dedicated to what you're doing. I used to be very inconsistent with my own goals. I would abandon them a lot, right? So I had to abandon children. But here we are, not abandoning one child with YouTube, right? It's a platform where I get to share things I want to share, like my short fashion films and things of that nature, right? So I pray that you get a chance or take the chance on yourself. And what you can do is, you know what? Let's do a guided visualization together. Wouldn't that be great? Let's get this ball rolling before you start burning stuff down to get to that, to locate that devotion within yourself, right? But you first have to get through all that murky stuff that's holding you back. It could be one thing, it could be many things. It don't matter. It matters. But in the grand scheme of your life, it is to shape you to where you are here. I'm not talking about abuse. We're not talking about like super traumatic things. I'm talking about things that are pushing you away from what you're trying to do. Those things matter. Those things change you, right? A lot has changed me in my life. I thought I wanted one thing, I really wanted the other thing, you know? And I ended up over here. Spirit got me doing this, you know? So life always lands you exactly where you need to be. But one thing I've always kept with me is devotion. I was always devoted. Sometimes to the wrong shit, but I was devoted. Okay. Before we get into your experiment project for the week, we're going to do a guided visualization. So get comfortable, relax, light yourself a candle, an incense, whatever you do that's witchy and ritualistic. And we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath and close your eyes. Feel the space around you soften. Feel your body relax into this present moment. Now, above your head, begin to see a bright golden light, pure, warm, and limitless, just like you. This golden light represents divine creativity, infinite ideas, flow, freedom. See this light slowly pouring down over your head, washing over your ori, your higher self, dissolving all creative blockages, doubts, fears, limits. The golden light moves down your throat, opening your voice, clearing your expression. Now it flows into your heart, igniting passion, truth, and authenticity. Flowing down your arms, your hands, your body, awakening your creative gifts, your sacred power to make, innovate, build, write, sing, design, speak. Anything blocking your creativity now melts like the shadows in the sun. It no longer belongs to you. Repeat to yourself silently or out loud. Ready? I am a clear, open channel for divine creativity. Infinite ideas flow through me with ease. I trust my creative power. I let the golden light completely fill your entire being, from your crown of your head to the soles of your feet. Breathe deeply. And when you're ready, open your eyes and you'll be ready to create after you burn it all down. You are now aligned with your highest self while acknowledging your shadow. You're integrated, you're one, and ready to create. Now, what I want you to do over the next 7 days is you are going to participate in an experiment. You are going to do what we discussed, burning all the old away, calling in what you and visualizing what you want to happen, and really figuring out what it is that you deeply and desire want to go towards, because it's something. I can't tell you what it is unless you booked a divination with me. But you know what it is. And that's something that you have to go towards, because it can and it will shift your life. Now, the experiment will be all of those 3 steps, along with you taking the first step. I don't mean plan, I don't mean strategize, I mean do something that has been calling to you for all these years, months, weeks, whatever it has been. Stop avoiding it. Stop using other people and situations and dating apps and this and that. And we all need connection. Don't get me wrong. Connection is important. But there are certain people addicted to certain things in order to avoid it is what they need to do for themselves to get forward, to move forward in life in the way that suits your heart. Right? Get rid of the distractions and take the first step. Whether that's writing the first page or a draft of the book, whether it is signing up to learn something, whether it is whatever it is, take a step. It don't matter how big, it don't matter how small. I recommend going a little slow. Don't you don't overwhelm yourself, because it can be overwhelming, especially when you're doing the ritual and a part of the experiment of getting to the root, because you may be emotional for a couple of days. You may need to do a massage on yourself, a lymphatic, to get rid of the inflammation that may come up once you do um, get to that said root, right? Or those wounds and those that self-talk in your brain that's not, it doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to you. Who are you? Who are you? Without the noise, without people's projections, without the comparison, without the conditioning, without what's going on in the world. Who are you? What is calling to you? That's what you need to ask yourself. Take the first leap. I promise you will never regret taking a chance on yourself. That is the most important thing you can do in this life, is taking a chance on yourself. This small thing can shift you in a way that you don't even know. I don't even know. But I know it's going to be good for you. I know it's going to challenge you in the best way possible. That's what I do know. Now, I want you to come back next week when I drop another video. Because if you don't know, I have a series called Fashion Fortune Telling, and that's where we talk about things fashion, media, politics, etc., all in one. Because fashion is political. But anyway, I need you to come back next week and tell me what you have done. What came up? What did you discover about yourself? I challenge you to devote to your craft or whatever's calling to you this week. Self devotion. Even if your rituals look like affirming yourself in the mirror, whatever you need to create for yourself to foster that beautiful, safe environment, create it. That can also be a thing. So, thank you all so much for coming to my world, my portal, to invite you all in to break free of these creative blockages. So, get to experimenting. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe and like.